Nigel Johnson might have new rubber on because he certainly wanted to skim the top off. A great burnout from the Oxygen Dragster.
A little bit softer in the burnout there for James Kemp in his Dragster.
500 cubic inches of TFX happens to be in James Kemp's lane. It is top alcohol, a very exciting category which we see funny cars, altereds and dragsters come together with the same engine. We weight them a little bit differently. It evens out the field and they can all go have a good party as one. This is top alcohol. Nigel Johnson from Wellard is in your Rocket Industries lane for Gun Concrete, and he's got the Oxygen Performance exhaust on board for this season. Now he's spending some time talking to the United States doers and movers and shakers of the top alcohol scene. I think he'll be finding himself spending a bit more time over there, getting some experience and bringing the knowledge of their tune-up world to Australia. But they run very different overdrive over there. So it's quite a interesting bring together of cultures. Australia runs a little less overdrive than America, but we can make it work almost just as well.
There's a bit of work going on around James's car.
Yeah, there is.
They're pushing it. Can he not perhaps select first gear on his own? Wonder what's going on there. We'll watch, we'll watch. They're trying to push the car into stage, are they? I don't know that that's in the rules.
Just trying to get the rock on it, but there it goes. There was a clunk.
Yep.
First gear has been found. It was under the couch the whole time.
Yep, and now, of course, Nigel Johnson's been sat there for that little while, so he'll be getting a little impatient.
Pre-stage both sides. Nigel locks it up first. James rolls the beams and probably puts the blower purse panel out, but Nigel Johnson, 580, 389 kilometres an hour. The Oxygen exhaust dragster does its duty.
Nice off the trailer, and yeah, I thought I heard a pop. You heard it too?
Early in the track there for Kemp, it sounded like potentially zing the tyres and then just let that burst panel go under manifold pressure. J-Mac will know more down on the inside line.
So problems there for James Kemp. You can actually see the crew still talking about it over my shoulder. Issues with the reverser. One of the crew members actually had to come up to the car and actually shut the butterflies for him to be able to take the pressure off that drivetrain to get it out of reverse gear. You saw that really noticeable clunk that reverberated right through the chassis, and well picked up there, Corey, all the way from the commentary box. Nice job.
Oh, thanks, J-Mac. It was really, we just got a great view down from here in Formula Tech Race Control, thanks to the beautiful glass that gets cleaned before these major events. And yeah, it was mission to launch, but not a lot of action for James Kemp. On the other side of the racetrack, Nigel Johnson will be taking that data back to the pits and can build on a lot of strength with that. He's gone into the 550s. That was a 580. There's 3/10 advantage still at play on that car.
It's time for some top alcohol dragsters as Nigel Johnson comes out to play in the Oxygen Performance exhaust.
TAD, it is top alcohol dragster time. What a baby little wing they've got. They're so
it's
cute.
Just skinny and little.
They're so cute.
We've seen top fuel wings tonight, so now we're holding higher expectations.
Man, once you put too much downforce on a car like this, they actually go slower. So you only need what you need, and anything else is probably just ego and fun. So the necessities of this dragster, you're looking at it. Nigel Johnson, a long-time experienced alcohol tuner around the likes of Marty Dack, has found himself out in the top of the pops thus far for top alcohol with a 580. Adam Marchand's sitting behind him with a 587. We know this car has got 550s in its capability range, but will we see it this early in the night? Not sure yet. I think maybe a 60, maybe a 70 still to come.
Around about midday earlier today, I took a tour around the pits just trying to get out and meet the drivers and see what's happening here at the Western Nationals, and it was frantic work going on in Nigel Johnson's pit. No amount of preparation can get you 100% ready for a drag racing event. It's that simple.
No chance.
They were throwing parts around the pit and had the panels off. Mark Shorto's laying under the car, turning wrenches, just trying to get this car prepped and sort out all the little things, all the tiny little things you need to knock over before you send this car down the track to make top alcohol work.
Let's make this top alcohol work and let's send him down the track. Best of luck. Clutch is good. First gear, awesome. Second gear, awesome. Get ready for a number, Perth. 560 with a 5. 560 with a 5. That is Top Alcohol talking business.
409 kilometres per hour, sitting just in front of the blower belt. Nigel Johnson gets it done and improves his time to be on top of Top Alcohol.
By 2/10 too. Go and chase that nugget. That is a quick dragster right there. Black is fast and oxygen exhaust. Talking business. Sensational stuff. Going up to the front row screens, a replay. Here we are at the 49th Annual Western Nationals. And that is a Top Alcohol dragster boogieing out of start line.
Just enough slip on the rear tyre to keep it up and keep the RPMs up without bogging things down and going into a shake situation or anything like that.
Really clean pass.
Very tidy.
They're going to be happy with that. And for all of their intense efforts that you mentioned in the pits, they can smile down the return road.
And we're going into some Top Alcohol action, Richie.
Indeed, indeed. Looking forward to it as we see James Kemp coming out in the Aeroflow lane up alongside Nigel Johnson.
Oh, yes. This beautifully presented Oxygen Performance exhaust entry. Currently the fastest car in the field on a 560 from the previous round, and he was the only car to make it down the track in qualifying round 2 for this Top Alcohol group.
Yeah, James Kemp had something go pop in that first round of qualifying. They've obviously been able to fix it. I hadn't been able to get around there to find out exactly what it was that stopped them from coming around in round 2. But as we said before, you know, the Kemp team have come out of a modified dragster, so they're on a very steep learning curve, and they're still on the steep side of it. So they've got a long way to go, but I think they're kicking the right sort of goals at the moment.
And Kemp's just a man who's happy to be in the car and in the field. They've got the right man behind the course as well. They've got Aaron Deary on the spanners helping this team out to make this car go faster. Currently hasn't put through a time after having that issue in qualifying 1. This is his opportunity to register a tidy time here in round 3 to round out the night, and is up against your quickest driver in the field.
Top Alcohol dragster national record is a 550, 261 kilometres an hour. We know that Nigel Johnson has run a 557. He's only 7/100ths of a second away from his national record. This is the only chance, or only one of 2 chances, West Australians have to reset national records. The revs are coming up. Nigel Johnson bumps himself into stage. Trees flash. Johnson's out at 1:16. Reaction time. Shoots have popped out for Johnson. He'll have his foot to the floor and wondering what is going on. A 6022 comes up for Johnson. 267 kilometres an hour. And James Kemp, a 6122. Good lap from James Kemp. They'll be happy with that one at 352 kilometres an hour. And James comes to a stop just over the hill.
Come to a complete stop. Will require a bit of assistance to get him off the track. As we check out the replay, we're keeping our eye on Nigel Johnson here. Just pops a chute at the half track marker and drives through it at the back door. He had his foot to the floor. Sometimes
the cars will give a bit of a shake and the pin falls out and the chutes come out with it. I really couldn't see anything untoward. It's not like it shook or anything like that.
It actually did in a big way, pretty much straight off the hit.
I don't
know if we're able to slow down the shot from the finish line looking at the start line, but if you actually see it, there's some rather aggressive shake there for Nigel Johnson, and that's all it was that popped that shootout.
Yep.
Would have been some wild shaking. You can see it a little bit. The tyre is deforming quite a fair bit.
It didn't last long, but it was violent.
It's
a lot
enough
of
to shake the
sidewall
pins
deflection.
out.
Yep. Yeah, I saw the car dance around a little, but didn't really pick that shake. So good spot there, Jared.
Just a spot in the shutdown area as well. James Kemp only actually had 1 chute functioning for a lot of his deceleration period. Then the second chute blossomed right at the end and then brought into a stop anyway. So Kemp he wouldn't have been worried at that stage because he wouldn't have felt much difference, but had that second chute just dangling in the breeze, not really blossoming itself and slowing the car down.
Yeah.
Top Alcohol is a widely contested Australian category class in which you can run a dragster, a funny car, or an altered. All 3 body types are working and accepted in the field of Top Alcohol. We've got 2 dragsters on track at the moment, which means they run on the same cubic inch versus weight break.
Top Alcohol is in the house. The Dragsters up first. We got plenty more. We're actually grabbing a couple of our door slammers who didn't make the field and tacking them onto the back of our Top Alcohol guys. So they get to come out and put a show tonight for all the fans here at the 49th Annual Western Nationals. But it's all about the long and skinny of it. Top Alcohol Dragsters in the house for the first pass tonight.
Oxygen Performance Exhaust for Nigel Johnson. James Kemp is the man in your Rocket Industries lane. Head your bets now. Lock and load. Clutches in. RPM's high. Clutches out. We're out of there.
Kemp gets away a little bit better from the line, but Johnson drives on past him and pulls it out for a 544.
Whoa. Holy
419 kilometres per hour. Corey is beside himself.
Okay, have we just set a track record there, and are we going in the sand? The answer is no. He's turned it around before the sand. All right, let's get to the important bit. Is that the fastest pass we have seen in Perth in an alcohol dragster? We'll have to go check our incrementals. A phenomenal race. James Kemp goes 6:004, 335, but ain't no denying 5:44. 4:19, and that is what happens when you take the suspension components out of your car and you sit in the middle. That is a wild dragster ride. J-Mac on deck.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
There it is. Tell me, that kind of performance in this early stage of the day, yes, we can feel the ambient temperatures dropped and presumably the track is obviously still there, but this blistering headwind, what's it doing to you guys?
Oh, this track is awesome. The headwind's not bothering us too much. We're just kind of creeping up on the tune-up a little bit. We're looking forward to going a little quicker this evening.
That was an incredible run there. Guys, are you able to confirm for me what the top alcohol record is at the moment?
I'm going through the book right now, so I'll give you
547.
We've got our guys
47,
on it. 47.7. So you've got, sorry, 37.7. So you're within, we're talking hundredths of a second there.
We're going to be knocking on that door this evening.
I love it. We're going to check the replay up on the super screen, guys. Incredible stuff right here in Top Alcohol.
Oh, J-Mac, and it was a 4. A 47 was the fastest by Western. That is a 44.
Watching in the deep end here for Johnson, though.
Man.
Really late shoots, and only one of them.
Wow, panic must be setting in. The spring of that chassis and suspension is all in the rear tyre, bouncing on the racetrack.
Oh, my goodness.
They'll need to wax up the bottom of that track. So that did a big slide on the tarmac.
Yeah, those tyres will probably be cactus after that one too. They'll look more representing a 50-cent piece by the end of that one. It's
about as many times as we've seen it have a clean launch. So it'll come down to the clutch settings and can they make this Oxygen Dragster work in the first 60-footer racetrack. If that happens and we hear 3 gears, we should be on a number. There ain't no doubt about it. James Kemp on the other side of the racetrack with select refrigeration and a whole lot of hand signals for Kemp as he drops his visor, brings up the RPM on the other side of the racetrack. These are clutched cars and are basically free revving on the start line. So the driver will hold the throttle at the designated engine RPM with their right hand knee, keeping the stability of the engine RPM and then letting go of the clutch. Top Alcohol Dragster coming to you live at the Perth Motorplex.
If my maths is correct, the number we are looking for is 5:49 or better, and there's a little puff. It's all over there for Nigel Johnson. James Kemp, though, have a look. His first ever 5-second pass to 5:87, 381 kilometres an hour. An awesome effort from the James Kemp, the Select Refrigeration team. And we'll wait for the replay to come up there on the big screen. But there was a puff there. Just out past 100 feet, I reckon there, Corey.
I couldn't agree with you more there.
There
and
it is.
it was a very unusual one at that
Wasn't
as well. Couldn't even speculate. I don't know. It just seemed like everything went away, but not for James Kemp. His first 5-second pass on our books as we look at national times set by drivers. Mr. Kemp for the win. You see the big shift light giving him a suntan at mid-track. Ran that RPM through second gear to the top and takes it to the top in this particular match race.
Yeah, great work there from the Kemp team. It's always good to see rookie teams coming out and kicking those goals and to see their first 5-second pass come up.
It's like the ignition went away. It's just like hosed a moment's worth of fuel out the pipes.
Yep.
It's like the coil box just died or something. But you'd expect, that's probably a best case scenario for an engine that's still turning, just to have a fresh flush of fuel through it. The methanol won't hurt it too much.
It's a blown alcohol exhibition, and Top Alcohol Dragsters come out to play James Kemp and Nigel Johnson in the Oxygen Performance exhaust, resetting a track record today from a 5:47 to a 5:44 in this beautifully presented, all blacked out Oxygen Performance exhaust dragster. Richie Howlett up here in Formula Tech Race Control. You ready for some more top alcohol action?
Can't wait for it. Ready for it now as we head towards the final. It's the business end of the evening. I'm telling you what, it's a thrash down there in the paddock at the moment. Both those top fuel teams are absolutely frantic. There's a lot of work going on in the DAC car and the Chapman car as well. And we're going to be in for a hell of a final coming up not too far away.
It really isn't far away. When we talk finals, we're talking about single passes for all of these classes. So we're only left with a few more passes left in the night, but it's going to be all action. And the battle is on for the Android Gold Christmas trees. And of course, for our door slammers and top bikes and top fuels, bragging rights and to win the West Coast Challenge.
Well, there's also national records up for grabs as well. And I've said it a dozen times. There's only 2 chances that West Australians have to reset those national records. We've already seen Nigel Johnson go underneath the Australian national record. Unofficially, he is the quickest top alcohol dragster here in Australia at the moment. That's unofficial because, of course, he hasn't been able to back that up. This is this a race round or this is just a grudge match?
Part of their top alcohol exhibition passes here, and this is an opportunity to prove that he can go even quicker as it's nice and even out of the gate. 0.207 on a 0.267 reaction.
5:39 comes up for Nigel Johnson. 5:39 at 426 kilometres an hour. That is the quickest top alcohol dragster pass in Australia. An awesome pass from the Johnson team. And wow. What can you say about those numbers? They will be absolutely pumped about those. 684 comes up for James Kemp at 257 kilometres an hour. J-Mac down there on the track.
Congratulations. That's a new Australian record. Well done.
That's awesome, man. Just great to be here and nice to have Nigel and Oxygen on board here to sponsor this.
What is it that got you guys to that figure there? Because it doesn't all come together in one hit like that.
I've got quite a few years of experience. I've got my own alcohol car in the States, and we run a lot more often than you guys do. So a few little tune-up runs, and it'll go a lot quicker yet. We're just baby steps.
Comparison to the Australian top alcohol stuff, what's the difference when it comes to overdrive and the weight on this machine?
The car is about 100 pounds heavy. We need to put this thing on a little bit of a scale and shave some weight. It'll run 20s pretty easy. This racetrack is really, really good, and that was keeping us slow this weekend. So we're learning a few new ways to get around that.
Well, let's take a turn and have a look at this super screen because we've got a replay coming right up. Tell me, from the get-go, did you know it was going to be quick?
I knew as soon as it made it to 300 feet, it was going to be good.
They saw all the action in the lane next to you with James Kemp. Any fears that he was going to come in and slow your roll?
No, I wasn't concerned about that.
Well, great to see an absolutely incredible run being recorded right here at the 49th Annual Western Nationals. Job well done, mate.
Right on, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Talk about baby steps for these guys, and yet they're going underneath national records and underneath track records in consecutive passes, and he's just talking about baby steps. How much more could you expect to come from this top alcohol dragster of Nigel Johnson's?
Oh, wow. Just looking at that pass there of James Kemp,
that was wild.
Certainly he took a lot. How much more can you expect? It's all just a case of watch and wait and see where this can go. I would love somebody they could confirm that speed for me as well. I thought I saw 421 kilometres an hour. And if that be the case, that will also be the fastest top alcohol track. There it is. 426. Most definitely the fastest top alcohol pass in Australia as well. The record stood at 420 kilometres an hour.